In July of 2013, Adam Reese, a 27-year-old geology graduate student from Oregon, went into the remote mountains of Washington. His goal was to find a lost copper mine near the top of a mountain called Iron Jaw Peak. This was not just another hike. It was the end of a long search that had taken over a year of his life. Adam was obsessed with lost industrial sites. He believed these places were not just part of history. He thought they held secrets that had been hidden on purpose. But Adam had no idea that while searching for something forgotten, he would become forgotten himself. Adam was careful. His friends said he was too careful. He planned every hike in detail. Before leaving for Iron Jaw Peak, he gave his roommate a 6-page plan. It listed every trail, every camp, and even what he would eat. He brought a GPS, a satellite phone, extra batteries, and a solar charger. He also told his professors and his parents that he would return on July 17th. But when the day came, no one heard from him. He never called. He never sent a message. That was when people started to worry. Search and rescue teams arrived quickly. The weather had been calm. Adam was experienced. His GPS should have helped them find him. But instead of finding a clear trail, they found confusion. His car was at the trailhead. Nothing looked strange. The trail log showed that he signed in on the 12th of July. He wrote that he was going to Iron Jaw up a ridge. After that, there was nothing. 4 days. Search teams looked from the ground in the air. No footprints. No campsite. No gear left behind. It was like Adam had disappeared into the trees. Then, on July 20th, a team in a helicopter saw something strange. Near a steep cliff on the northeast side of the mountain, they found a body. It was Adam's body. He was lying on a boulder, face up, with his arms twisted and broken. His eyes were still open. His backpack was next to him. It was zipped and looked untouched. Inside were his supplies. His climbing gear, ropes, harness, and carabiners were still packed and unused. He wasn't wearing his helmet. Things didn't make sense. The cliff was in the opposite direction of where he had planned to go. That part of the mountain had no trails. He had called it a danger zone in his notes. So why was he there? And why wasn't he using his gear? 2 days later, rescuers found the last GPS signal from Adam's device. It came from a ledge far above where his body was found. When they reached it, they discovered something strange. A small circle of rocks, like a fire pit. Inside were burned pages. There was also a crushed energy bar wrapper, and nearby, buried in snow, they found his helmet. It was badly cracked. The attached camera had been smashed, but not in a fall. It looked like someone had destroyed it on purpose. The first theory was that Adam had fallen, but his professors didn't believe it. His mother didn't believe it. His roommate said Adam would never explore a cliff without using safety gear. And then there was the photo. The night before the trip, Adam showed his roommate an email. It had no subject and no message, just one photo. It showed the entrance to a mine. Rusted tracks led into the dark. Adam believed it was the Iron Jaw mine, but that photo did not exist in any record. He printed it and put it in his journal. That journal was never found. When the case was ruled an accident, the story spread online. Some people on wilderness forums started sharing what they knew. One user claimed he had worked near Iron Jaw in the 1980s. He said that part of the mountain was off limits. He was told not to ask why. Another person claimed his grandfather helped seal a mine in that area in the 1960s. He said it was too dangerous. Some said it might have been used to store chemicals. Some folks murmured about something much more sinister. 1 year after Adam's death, a woman named Kelly Harris visited the mountain. She had read the story and wanted to see the place for herself. She used a drone to scan the northeast ridge. Later, when she watched the video, she noticed something strange. Behind some branches, there was a wooden beam built into the rock. It looked like part of a mine entrance. When she went back a few weeks later, the area was blocked by rocks. Someone had covered it up. To this day, Adam Reese's death is called an accident. No one was charged. No other searches were done. But many people believe he found the entrance to the mine. Maybe he triggered a collapse. Maybe he saw something he shouldn't have. Or maybe someone followed him and made sure he would never tell anyone what he found. Hikers who go near the northeast cliff say strange things still happen. Phones lose signal. Compasses stop working. Some say they hear metal sounds at night, like machines deep underground. Others feel like they're being watched. But when they turn around, no one is there. Iron Jaw Peak is still not popular with hikers. Most people avoid the side where Adam was found. They say it feels wrong, cold, silent, like the mountain is keeping a secret. And maybe it is. Adam Reese was a brilliant student, a careful explorer, and a man who wanted to uncover forgotten history. But maybe some places are meant to stay buried. Maybe some stories aren't lost. They're hidden. The mountain held on to everything he found, including himself. In June 2019, a man named Daniel Whitaker walked out of a government building in downtown Louisville, Kentucky, and vanished. He was 36 years old, a former IT contractor with no criminal record, no enemies, and no known mental health issues. He had just finished a routine meeting with a federal agency regarding a freelance security audit he had completed 2 months earlier. He didn't go out much, didn't date, and had no social media accounts. The call came from a blocked number. The contents of the call are unknown, but the tower data placed the call within a 5-mile radius. Daniel didn't mention the call to anyone, and it was the last time his phone was used to make or receive contact. What's more strange is that his phone continued to ping towers for nearly 3 days, before it went dead somewhere near the Ohio River. Divers searched the area, but found nothing. His phone was never recovered. His family filed multiple FOIA requests, but most of the documents were returned heavily redacted. What little information they did get confirmed that Daniel had completed his work properly and had no disciplinary issues. There was no sign of embezzlement or data theft, just a clean report and a man who vanished right after submitting it. But he wasn't a recluse. He worked regularly, took care of his elderly parents, and attended local tech meetups every few months. He said higher-ups believed Daniel had been targeted, but not for what he had done. Instead, it was for something he had seen. Daniel's bank accounts remain untouched. His phone has never reconnected. His car sits in evidence storage, and his last known location remains a 50-foot stretch of sidewalk in downtown Louisville, where a man with no enemies and no reason to run simply disappeared. According to this source, Daniel had accidentally accessed a set of internal files that weren't meant to be included in his audit, files that related to surveillance operations being run from within the United States. The journalist wanted to verify the details, but the source wouldn't go on the record, so the claim is still not verified. It was for a routine network audit, but some parts of it were classified. They were told Daniel had found no serious issues and submitted his report. People don't just vanish without a trace. Not in broad daylight, not in front of cameras, not unless someone wanted him gone and knew exactly how to do it. But after interviewing one of his former co-workers, they learned that Daniel had been acting strange in the days leading up to the meeting. He told the co-worker he believed someone had been following him. He even said he noticed the same black SUV parked near his apartment multiple times, but he never filed a report. And there's no proof the vehicle was connected to anything. He was known for being reliable, especially with deadlines. He received calls from unknown numbers, not in his contacts. When authorities tried to trace them, they hit a wall. The servers used for the app were based overseas, and no identifying information was available. Daniel's last conversation was with someone who stayed hidden. So when he missed a scheduled call the day after his meeting, his client contacted his emergency contact, which was his sister. They said he was cautious, but not scared. He never talked about government conspiracies or hidden threats. He was the kind of person who always double-checked his locks and cleared his browser history, but never seemed nervous or afraid. Still, they admitted one thing. He had told his sister, just a week before his disappearance, that he had stumbled onto something strange while working on the contract. When she asked what it was, he just said it was probably nothing. That was the last time she saw him. She called the police and went to his apartment. Inside, everything was normal. There were no signs of a struggle. His phone charger was still plugged in. The fridge was full. His computer was locked, and nothing was missing. At 2:14 p.m., Daniel was seen on CCTV walking through the lobby, checking his phone, and stepping onto the sidewalk. That was the last confirmed sighting of him. No one has seen or heard from him since. The investigation that followed was one of the most confusing and frustrating missing persons cases in the region, because nothing about Daniel's disappearance made sense. His phone was never turned off. It continued to ping nearby towers for 3 days. His bank cards were untouched. His car was still parked 2 blocks away, with the keys and laptop inside. And when police reviewed nearby cameras, they found a strange gap. The feed from the building showed Daniel stepping out and turning right, but the next security camera, which should have picked him up just 50 feet away, never recorded him passing. It was as if he disappeared in the space between 2 cameras in the middle of the day, in a busy part of the city. Daniel had lived alone for the past 6 years. His neighbors described him as polite, quiet, and private. Police pulled his cell phone records and confirmed he had received a call at 2:11 p.m., just minutes before leaving the building. Investigators started digging into the contract that had brought Daniel to the federal building in the first place. In his final weeks, Daniel had also made a number of encrypted calls using a secure VoIP app. His family insisted Daniel was not paranoid or delusional. After 3 weeks, the case went cold. The FBI took over, citing the nature of his contract, but gave no public updates. In 2021, a former federal employee contacted a local journalist and claimed to have overheard a conversation about Daniel's case. Today, the case is still open, but no new leads have surfaced. Some believe he was taken. Some think he ran. Others think he discovered something he wasn't supposed to and paid the price. But one thing is certain, people don't just vanish without a trace. Not in broad daylight. Not in front of cameras. Not unless someone wanted him gone and knew exactly how to do it.